live. Hello, welcome to the very special week on Your View. It's the week that promises to be fun, educative, revealing in commemorating this year's International Women's Day coming up on the weekend. We'll be having some very exclusive interviews with prominent women throughout this week, and we're really excited about it. So welcome to the show, ladies. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Alaja Nima Akashat Zibiri. How are you today?
I'm fine and grateful to God. It's the third day of Ramadan. I started fast on Saturday. I fell ill on Saturday.
Wow.
I fasted with it, and I feel so much better just by fasting. So
Sure.
one of the benefits of fasting, of course, is that your body self-heals. You know, and I felt that way by this morning. I woke up alive and, you know, with a strong vibe. Unlike as I've dragged the entire week last week. So I'm very grateful. I pray, I want to, you know, encourage every Muslim out there to do their fast diligently and use the time for self-reflection, which is what I usually do.
Fantastic. Good morning, Tope.
Good morning. It's been a while. How do I feel like I've not seen you in a long time? Both of you. My banter, I am selling land and selling houses. In case you did not know and you want to buy land, you don't have to look left or right. Just look at me.
Well, they can look left too, auntie.
They should. Oh, okay. So it is law you are doing now.
Actually, sell houses also.
You are doing law.
No,
don't
look
look left or right. To my right is for your health. To my left is for your legal needs. To your center, right where I am, is for your land needs. Okay. Please don't look left or right. It's a new month, but I don't want to. It was a party weekend. On Friday, I had a 70th birthday party. Nice. On Saturday, I went to a 60th birthday party. Nice. I typically only go to parties when my husband is dragging me, and since he's his people network, it was good. Abeokuta was such a short drive from. The road is all good. Yeah, it was really, really good. I had fun. Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic. Hello, Mariam. Long day.
Welcome back.
Just get.
I went to Jos first, and then I went to Langtan for the burial of the late Jeremiah Hosseini. Was a good one, you know. Family and friends, and you know, the governor, so many people, dignitaries were there, senators, ministers, everyone, you know. But what was very important about that burial was that his good works spoke for him. So there were people from all walks of life. It's not just dignitaries, it was everyone, and everybody had something, legacy, especially to say about his generosity. But then what was good also was that I met people I haven't seen in a while, so it was sort of like a reunion, and you will be surprised that your view it has been heard in places like Langtan, Pilgani. I went and people there were talking about your view. So this show is really far-reaching, and you ladies are doing an amazing job. You're speaking for many Nigerians, and the fact that we have different views and different opinions, it resonates with a lot of people as well. So yeah, it's good to be back. I have so much gist. I was showered all sorts of gifts. My mom took me round. Yes, I did. I brought tamarind. Just as I was about to leave, one of my cousins just gave me a whole box of strawberries, like the morning I was leaving.
Yes, some.
Okay. Yeah, so it was really good to be home. They're just, and I'm just so proud of Nigerians everywhere doing amazing things. You know, they're Nigerians are industrious. They are hardworking, and my people, there's no house that I'll enter that there is no pray. They will pray as you enter. They'll pray as you are leaving. Pray as you're about to eat food. Nigerians pray. So please, I feel like Nigerians are doing their job. So we're asking for the government to do your part, so that Nigerians can begin to enjoy the fruit of their hard work. Yes.
So we have to celebrate also. I mean, the season of celebration. So we are celebrating the life of the very first female broadcaster in Nigeria who made history as the first face on television in Africa, the late Anike Agbaje Williams. It's to be recalled that Anike emerged as the top during the male-dominated interview back in the 50s. She also was the very first voice on the Western Nigeria Broadcasting Service, WNBS, the first commercial radio station in the country. She will be remembered for her imposing appearance and compelling voice. She looks so beautiful and gorgeous. I mean, and it's so good that she had set the pace and opened the doors for people like us today. So we're grateful for her life. And she passed on, I think, on the 26th of February last week. And it was important for us to acknowledge and just may her soul rest in peace. Let's go on a very short break now. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
But that place on Wednesday might not be possible. Because they said that. Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Fubara, I'll obey Supreme Court judgment. And that's the mystery on Sunday. And happy birthday, Pastor Adeboye serves as living proof of God's presence in sustainable wealth creation. This is by Dr. Jimo Ibrahim, CFL. March 2nd was Daddy Gio's birthday, and across the RCCG churches in the world, we sang happy birthday to Daddy Gio, and we cut cake. In fact, in my church, there were like 3 people that was 50. One person was 60, another person was 70. Wow. So we had like so many cakes. The landmark birthday was really fantastic. So happy birthday to Daddy Gio. Many more years and anointing in the mighty name of Jesus. Okay? Amen. Any other story?
Okay, so I have a Fubara story. I didn't know whether he would. So according to Nation, the way they put it, they say 48 hours after Supreme Court handed down 2 judgments that threaten the soul of Siminalaye Fubara. Nation carry. Soul. They say it's soul. You know, okay, well done. So they said that you know, the Supreme Court avoided the his stand against the 23 local. The House of Assembly members who decamped, and also the order that the 23 local government chairmen who were elected by his recent local government elections in Rivers State is voided by according to them, and they should quit the office. And so he has ordered them to immediately, says he's going to obey the court judgment. He has ordered them hand over to what he called the personnel, heads of personnel in each local government, because of course they no longer have what they call the executive secretary, which the court had at some point annulled and called illegal. So the court gave those two judgments, one by Justice Akomaye Ajim, which recognizes the Martin Amawele-led 26-member of the State House of Assembly, and the second, of course, is that of Justice Jamilu Tukur, which has declared invalid the elections conducted on October 5, 2024, that led to the emergence of 23 local governments and
I'm happy he plans to abide by the law, but he has asked for the CTC.
He says his lawyers said they will get the CTC by the 7th of March on Friday, and that he wishes, is willing to execute the judgment as a law-abiding, understands it, as a law-abiding citizen. And so the Rivers State Elders Council of Elders have advised that him and the Martin Amawele-led House of Assembly please work together. I think two strong men now in Rivers State are just him and the Martin Amawele. Unfortunately, people are suggesting that House of Assembly, when seated, of course, they already voided his Speaker voided the budget, which he passed before 4 members of the House, and so they're saying now that House will sit and might find that as gross misconduct. But he's saying no, they should fear nothing, that the state will be run peacefully. He has advised everybody to go about their businesses legitimately.
Any other story, Nation?
I found a story inside the papers about something that happened in Edo State, the Ovia South local government, Southwest local government area of Edo State. The Bolomoti people have complained about the encroachment on their land. So they said that it had happened a while back. Farmers had encroached upon their land to plant cocoa, and that these farmers claimed that they had backing of the government. And they said, okay, in resolution of that, pay a token to the host community for using their land. But they said they are alleging that even after that resolution, these farmers are now planting more cocoa on Ijaw community land that has been uncultivated, and they now allege that their youth are stealing the cocoa produce from their farm, and employed a vigilante group that has been hurting and killing them. The last clash resulted in the death of 22 persons, according to the state government, but the Edo State Police Command said that they can only account for 7 people, whether 7 or 22. Cocoa farming, cocoa is huge money right now, and so stealing the cocoa would be a huge loss for the farmers. Also, it should bring opportunity to the community, not death to the community. So I think this should be resolved amicably between the community and the farmers who are cultivating cocoa in this community entirely. I don't want it to lead to loss of lives. It's not worth it.
Okay, moving on now to the Punch. Local government autonomy. Government agencies brainstorm as direct payment suffers setback. ATM loaded with cash as 100 naira withdrawal fee begins. How buyers will get 65 naira per litre refund, says Dangote. And Fubara dismisses impeachment rumor. Rivers elders caution federal government. Okay.
Yes, I have how buyers will get 65 naira per litre refund. This is according to Dangote. So the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has announced that it will refund customers who purchase PMS, that's petrol, at rates higher than the advertised prices from their key partners, Dover PLC, Hayden, or MRS across the nation. The company said that this move follows the refinery's recent reduction of its price from 890 naira per litre to 825 naira per litre. The refinery is saying that part of this is it's an ongoing effort to ensure that Nigerians are the primary beneficiaries of the price reduction, and in line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which aims to stimulate the economy. The refinery also confirmed the 65 naira per litre on over 200,000 metric tons of PMS purchased by marketers at the old price of 890 before the new rates of 825 per litre. So it looks like Dangote is still on his gifting spree. You know, many Nigerians are happy. One thing I would like to say is that in Jos, we're looking for MRS. They don't have MRS. So they said I should ask Dangote, please, who are your partners in Jos, so that they will know the places that they can go. AP, okay. So all the different places that they can go and see, they can get what they see. Lagos people have been enjoying all this, the pricing and the quality of petrol. So, but yeah, that's what.
Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results. So
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one
at this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, you for that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now. His name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah, but do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No,
Sex can never be overrated.
it is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You see some spoils.
That woman.
Damn!
Today.
Welcome back. All right, so still on Punch, and I'll be taking the major headline. So the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madeyin, and the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi have commenced talks on implementation of the July 11, 2024 Supreme Court judgment that gives local government autonomy, and has asked for the local government to provide their individual accounts. In a move to ensure the verdict, and the two senior officials have been holding consultations on the modalities of submitting local government accounts to them. This was contained in the Federal Allocation Committee Technical Subcommittee meeting minutes obtained by The Punch on Sunday. The minutes shared by an insider indicates that the only local government areas in Delta State have submitted their account details to the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. So of all the various states, only in Delta State. It revealed that the submission of the account details by Delta State was confirmed during the FAC meeting. Documents showed that while the OAGF has started receiving account details from various sources, only Delta local government. So it's important, obviously, all the various states are yet
only Delta States
ensure
get serious
that all the various local governments provide their accounts.
Well, ATM, they have loaded ATM and they have started charging 100 naira.
100 naira.
Yeah, so the circular that was dated February 10 had said that under the new structure, withdrawals from one's bank ATM will remain free. That's the bank where you open your accounts.
So you have to go and
because
look
you
for
know,
it.
made the mistake, yeah. But however, ATMs from other banks will be surcharged 100 naira per withdrawal for every 20,000 or less at on-site ATMs, and which are located within or directly affiliated with a bank's branch. While off-site ATMs, which are positioned outside the bank premises, such as shopping malls, fuel stations, other public places, will attract additional surcharge of 500 naira.
Excuse me, please say that again. Why?
Banks off-site ATMs, which are positioned outside bank premises, such as shopping malls, fuel stations, other public places, will attract additional surcharge of 500 naira.
How much is POS charging again, please?
So now, Sponge took it to the streets since now March 1st, it started on Saturday, and they went to visit certain banks, and they found that at a particular branch mentioned in the Punch, which I don't want to mention, so that they'll come and add TVC to it. Apart from that 100 naira that will be charged, there will be 107 naira 50 kobo inclusive charge. So it's 207 naira
For what?
that you will pay. They did this on the Western Avenue, Fushua Williams Avenue Road. They investigated those banks there, two of them. They mentioned in the banks, and they said that they'll be charging extra at all of these branches. It is an additional charge to what is circulated in the CBN instruction. And
we the people, we're already complaining now.
Yeah,
and then we the people now added their own to it.
So they said that this is the charge. So you do your feasibility study. Is it cheaper?
No store of value
because
anymore.
what will
Money
happen is
has no
that
store of value.
already we are suffering from people keeping monies at home. So reducing cash in the banks, and we're going to suffer it more. But now all the ATMs in all these places that they visited were fully loaded ATMs. So you choose the one that suits you at the end of the day.
That's so in Punch as
Yes,
well.
I do. NLCO has directed its 54 affiliates to be on red alert for a mass action should the federal government carry out implementation of the telecommunications service charge contrary to the terms of agreement that was reached by a 10-man committee. They warn that any more increase in electricity tariff will be met with utter resistance. The NLC also urged all industrial union and progressive allies in the country to prepare to join the Congress in decisive mass action against all anti-people policies of the government. So there was a communique that was sent out by the National Executive Council. They had met, and it was jointly signed by the NLC President and General Secretary. And he says, having extensively discussed these existential threats to the working class of the broader Nigerian masses, NEC in session resolves as follows. On the 35% tariff hike in telecommunications service, NEC acknowledges the agreement reached February 21st, 2025 between NLC and federal government through a joint 10-man committee, which reduced the initial proposed telecommunication tariff hike from 50% to 35%. Now, this is why it took this whole place. It says, however, the Congress remains vigilant, recognizing the long history of infidelity. Because it does not trust the government, infidelity, you know. So because of that, it says NEC is categorically warning that should there be implementation of the agreement on March 21st, not as agreed, you know, by them, they are mandating all necessary instruments to enforce compliance in line with the February 10 Central Working Committee directive. I just like the infidelity, like, you know, stop cheating, you know, this cheating in this marriage between NLC and federal government.
All right, let's move on to Vanguard. Anxiety as Fubara begins implementation. Further hike in electricity tariff will be resisted, says NLC. Ramadan, can Naptan fume over closure of schools. Rwanda plots Super Eagles fall in the World Cup qualifier coming up. Why federal government insists contractors move to site before mobilization, says Umahi. Why exchange rate stability is not sustainable by experts. How Nigeria maltreated Igbo for decades, says Okwesilieze Nwodo. State of the nation. Nigeria flowing with tears and blood, says Anglican Church. And Lagos Assembly crisis plots to return Obasa thickens. Okay, which story?
The economy.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the indications, while Nigerians are rejoicing and celebrating the fact that there seems to be a bit of stability within the forex and even appreciation, because in this we've had a 1,665 to $1 high this year, and right now dollar has dropped by 9.61% in the parallel market to 1,505 to $1. They said this is not an indication of hope, or that we should not, it can't be sustainable. The Financial Vanguard Tracker Development said that the landscape for sustaining this is not feasible because we are depleting our reserve. They said the reserve went down to $38 billion as at last weekend from its year opening of $40 billion, showing a loss of 2.3 billion, which is 5% decline. So we are using our foreign reserve to shore up the naira, and that it is not sustainable, that sustainability is the key watchword, not about the idea of the drop in the money, and that the backdrop of the huge impact of the foreign portfolio investment is that experts are expressing that something else might go wrong within it. So I really like positive news. This doesn't sound so good, but we know that our minister, the CBN governor, would reply with what the actual plans are. The Minister for Coordinated Economy will also reply. But Nigerians on the receiving end are happy that there is a reduction in the exchange rate and naira is getting stronger.
Go on.
With the Ramadan, Khan and Naptan, they're fuming over the closure of schools in some states in the north. So the Christian Association of Nigeria and the National Parent Teacher Association of Nigeria, NAPTAN, have rejected the decision of some northern state governors to shut down primary and secondary schools during the month of Ramadan because of fasting. Khan is saying that the closure of schools in Bauchi, Katsina, Kano, and Kebbi states during Ramadan violates students' constitutional rights and jeopardizes educational progress. NAPTAN also says that this decision was not in the best interest of students, parents, and society as a whole. And as we know, education, they say education is fundamental rights, foundation of progress, and this will disrupt academic schedules and threatens the advancement of millions of students. Also, these are states that already face alarming rates of out-of-school children, averaging 44%, which is far exceeding the national average, and that this lack of broad consultation, inviting stakeholders to come to this decision, they didn't do any of that. That is also worrisome. NAPTAP, let me just take that. They said, NAPTAN, they said this will disrupt academic calendar and the curriculum being followed. Also, remember, in those two states, there are students preparing for their external examinations, such as WASC and ones conducted by NECO, and this will also affect preparations. If pupils and students are now asked to stay at home for a month and then resume to be administered this examination, they also say that, as you know, in these states, not all the students are Muslims as well. So these two groups have come out, categorically to say that they do not agree with this decision, and it will be interesting to see, why they took this decision. They also highlighted the fact that Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates do not do that. They don't close down schools. That yes, they have like a different sort of schedule, a bit more flexible schedule during Ramadan, but they don't just shut down schools during this period.
Okay, another story.
Okay, so I have the Lagos House of Assembly drama happening. According to the Vanguard, the leadership crisis rocking the House of Assembly has uncovered fresh moves by the former speaker to return as speaker, and they said that following the disbandment of the Akode committee, members of the GAC have been asked to rein in their loyalists. According to this source, this one funny, they said the BC Akode committee has finished their work, and they said this one is an unknown source. I mean, undisclosed source. He said the president has reached out to members of the GAC who have loyalists or children in the assembly to insist they work for Obasa's return as speaker. For those who do not have children in the assembly but have political loyalists in the state executive council, they have been mandated to ensure that Obasa is returned, according to this report. They also, in the same story, have conflicting memo to the House of Assembly staff members. A source said that there's a memo saying that all of the distinguished colleagues should resume immediately, that plenary will start today, Monday. But there's also an earlier memo saying that all House of Assembly aides and members should work from home remotely. And so there's so many drama. They said that the former speaker is also looking to his opposition in the House of Assembly to win them back and looking for how he will come back. And some people are saying, no, some are entirely loyal to the Miranda committee, to the Miranda leadership.
Cool.
And so it's just back and forth whether the speaker would come back.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, at number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown.
The Ramadan quiz segment, all spiced up with soul-stirring nasheed.
Asking for a sign from you, cause I'm so broke inside.
Ramadan Kareem on TVC from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day in Ramadan. To participate, call or visit our marketing department, TVC Communications Limited, Eko Atlantic City, Victoria Island, Lagos. Telephone 0708 066 8003. or 0708 066 8004. You can also log on to www.tvccommunications.tv. Ramadan Kareem.
Thanks for staying with us. So it's International Women's Week on Your View this week. And before we start celebrating leaders and women who are accomplished, we thought let's start with young women who are leading in their various spheres of life. And today on the show, to start our International Women's Celebration, to speak on essential qualities and characteristics of leaders, is the president of the Student Council at the Pan-Atlantic University, Priska Okocha-Ojie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Madam President, you're welcome.
Thank you very
Good to
much.
have you on our show.
Thank you.
So it's International Women's Month, and we're pretty excited. So much is happening around the world. The theme this year is Accelerate Action. And I know that you're a student leader, and it was important for us to celebrate young leaders like you, who are women, who are also working with men and other colleagues in your school. So it was important for us to come bring you on the show to learn a bit from you and see how you're leading in your own space. So tell us a bit about yourself and what year you are in school and how you became president of student government.
So thank you very much for having me, and I'm excited to be here to discuss how young women can not only attain leadership positions but how they can excel in them. So my name is Priska Okocha-Ojie, like earlier mentioned. I'm the president of the Pan-Atlantic University Student Council. I'm also the president of the Public Speaking Club at the university.
Nice.
I am in my final year and I am studying economics. Aside that, I'm also pursuing a chartered accountancy degree with ICANN. I've completed the first stage, so I'm an associate accounting technician.
Nice.
So my journey to becoming president hasn't been, I won't say it was the easiest, but well, it was a bit soft, I guess. Right? And then so far my journey has been good. I've had a lot of mentors supporting me. I've had different people that I look up to, that I ask for advice, and I think that's one thing that has kept me going.
You know, being a leader, especially like in the university, is not something most young people gravitate towards.
Yeah.
What was it about you growing up or anything that motivated you to do that?
Okay, so what motivated me to become a leader? Well, I would say in my house we're all family of leaders, right? So I had two older brothers that were in PAU as well, and then they were both in student council. And I was like, okay, they've been in student council, let me also go and be in student council and see what's going on there. And then I went in there as vice, and then after 1 year, I wasn't done. I said, okay, no, I want to come back again as president. So that was one thing that kept me going.
Okay, so you were in the student council as vice, then you became the president. What exactly do you do, or what was different about being a vice president and being a president? What does that role embody, and what are the advantages to take up that leadership position? What have you seen so far?
All right, so difference between being a vice and being a president is that as much as possible, the vice is expected to like support the visions of the president and ensure that, okay, whatever the president plans to do is, you know, being achieved. But then as the president, you have your own visions, you have the things that you want to see get done, right? As the vice, you may not necessarily have your own take on the things that you want to do, because as much as possible, it is the president's agenda that should be followed. So becoming the president, I saw that there are various things that could be improved upon in terms of leadership, in terms of student life, and that is why I went back to be president, in order to achieve those things that had not been touched before.
Okay, so what are the pressing issues that, you know, the students of Pan-Atlantic University have? Because I was speaker from a state university and we had issues. You know, so I'd like to see what's a private university.
Well, we have a bit of issues, like we could have maybe hostel issues once in a
Yeah.
while. We
Yeah.
can have Wi-Fi issues.
Yeah.
Those are bits of the issues that we have. But aside that, I think in terms of academics, we are good because we have, you know, world-class top education.
So let me use you to brag a bit, because I was also president of the student government in my university. I was also president of African Students Union called TWESI. I was president a lot, so I understand, and I was vice president.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. I was always vice president. I also run to president. So, but during my time, and I wanted to use to focus a bit on leadership, because during my time, one of the struggles I had was leading people from different countries. I didn't know how to engage certain issues, and there were issues of there were tribal issues, there were religious issues, there were, you know, just so many things. And as a leader, it was difficult for me to navigate. How are you able to lead when you have different people from different places, guys, girls, different ages, and how do you bring them together as a leader to focus on your vision and direction for the school?
All right. So one thing I understood, or like I was forced to understand, is that not everybody would be in support of what you have planned, or not everybody would be, you know, in line with your vision and all. So I tried to get a group of people, hoping that that small group of people that I get would impact people in their own various groups as well. So my own way of getting a small group of people to assist in impacting other people was we set up a committee system in the council right now. So we have about 8 committees with a total of 77 members in all those committees. So now these people, you know, they help us to publicize the activities. They help us to tell their friends, their classmates about it. So even if they are not keyed into the activities because they don't like the people in council, well, their friends are sort of still in council, so they have to support their friends by coming on board and things like that.
So one of the worries I've always had with leadership and getting involved with student council and all that is I feel it distracts from your academic pursuits, and I'm a bit worried for you. Should I be?
No,
how have you found the balance with being an effective student council president and yet thriving academically?
Okay, well, I'll say it's about learning how to plan your time management, and also like coordinating yourself. And you have to give up a lot of things. Like, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. So on time management, I know that, okay, today I wake up, I have to ensure that I send out 5 emails, and then I'm done with council work for the day. Then I have class at maybe 9 to 5. I go for my class 9 to 5. I'm back from class. I have council meeting. 1 hour council meeting is done. I come back, revise my notes for the day.
So you
then
you schedule yourself properly.
Schedule myself. And then sometimes when you know I may not be in time with my schedule and all, I may have to, you know, sacrifice my sleep in order to make up for all this.
So I need to get my kids to watch this.
How do you respond to negative feedback? And I would also like to, you know, pull this, link it up with our country as well. You being a leader, maybe getting negative feedback, how would you address it? How do you think our leaders for our country should do, what do you think they should do differently when they get criticisms?
Okay, so I haven't been someone that, you know, would take negative feedback like easily, but then of recent I have learned to, you know, just take it off. So what the truth about those negative criticisms is that there is a bit of positivity in them, or like there's a bit of truth in them. The important part is that, okay, you take it, they've said something, fine and good, I'm going to take it. Look out for the parts that concern me that I can actually improve on, and then I take up those parts, work on them, and then the other parts that are not really important to me, I push it aside and then I move on with my life.
So what advice would you give our country's leaders?
Oh, I think there are other pressing issues that we could focus on in the country, right? So getting this negative comments from people is bound to happen. If you're in leadership position, people always have something to say about you. So
you go ahead.
So have you had any policy that, you know, your school executive, you know, because it's a university and you are just a student, have you had any policy that the school thinks, what's wrong with these children? It is bad. Do you have any such policies? Resistance, and how do you resolve, you know, any
resistance
of such
from
conflict?
the management?
Okay, so I'd say that the school is a bit structured in a way that we don't just wake up and, you know, bring up a new policy. But most of the policies are usually brought up after consultation from some students. So like there's maybe a focus group kind of thing, and then students are asked, okay, what do you think about this and this and this and this? So whatever the outcome is sort of what is going to favor the student, because usually PAU is usually student-centric. So most of the things are usually in favor of students. I don't recall any time when any policy has been against this.
So do you have fun? Like, you mean, you're president, you do serious on studios and do you just do stuff and let go and let loose and hang out with your friends? You're in university. I mean, it's your final year anyway, but do you do a lot of stuff just to be naughty?
Can I add a part B to that question? Dating and being a student president, how
easy.
does that affect you, or dating life?
I haven't.
Do you have a dating life?
No, I don't. I do not have a dating life.
Yes.
Yes, to put it out there. Yes, I don't have a dating life. But having fun with my friends, I know. So usually I have fun during the activities that I organize. Like one upcoming activity that we have is Spirit Week from the 23rd of March to the 29th of March.
Okay.
Right? It's an event to celebrate school culture, to celebrate unity, and like to celebrate the fact that we are members of the PAU community.
Okay.
And then during this event, we have various activities lined up. And of course, I would have fun in those activities. So the way I have my own fun is
do you
my
go clubbing, Auntie? Do you do clubs at all?
No, I don't.
You don't.
She said no.
Just check it.
But I want to ask you about being a woman, because this is a new month, and this month is all about women and all of that. And outside the school, there are women that have capacity for leadership who struggle to get it. And obviously you've enjoyed leverage on that point. But do you think that your school environment encourages women leadership, and you, in interaction with the outer world, feel we should do more to encourage women leadership, or we should just leave it as women should fight for their role? I fought to become the president, student union president, so let women not ask for affirmative action and all of that.
All right. So I think that the world may seem like, oh, it is a male-dominated world and men should be the ones in leadership. But as much as possible, I think the world should encourage women in leadership, because it is good to have a different perspective on something. And I have worked with women in my various, scales of leadership, like the vice presidents of the Alumni Association, right? They have different perspectives that they can bring to the table. We don't always want to see from the men's side. The women also have something to say. And another aspect is that the opportunities are not there, but we have to sort of create those opportunities for ourselves. You don't have to be a leader by being the top manager in a bank or something. By volunteering in a leadership in a small community, by saying, okay, this is not right in the community, I want to do this and do this, that is also leadership. And then from there you can be known on a global scale.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we have a gift for you, but we're going to shop. When we come back, we'll present to you just thanking you for coming on the show, because our very, very first guest for the International Women's Week that Your View is celebrating. So we have a little gift which I think Nima will be presenting to you. If you can get it over to Nima, then we can now present it to you. But I'm really proud of the work you've done so far, and I think you have you're just one person that we must celebrate in everything you do. Finally, your final words. What do you want to say to Nigeria young leaders out there?
Okay, I'd like to say that leadership is all about taking action, and if you want to lead, you have to start today. So ensure that you speak up, take responsibility, and step into leadership roles. And for young women watching this, remember that you do not need permission to lead. The world needs more female leaders, and that of course includes you. So as much as possible, take that opportunity today. And well, I'm grateful for PAU and the opportunity that PAU has given me to become a student leader. Yes, so that's
wishing you the best.
Yeah. Thank you very congratulations. Thanks for being our first guest.
Oh, thank you.
We're so proud of you.
Well done. On our special edition this week.
Thank you
very much. I'd like to let you know that you are inspiring a lot of young people watching today. So well done.
Thank you very much.
Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results. So
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Okay, that's all we
Nigeria,
can
but
take.
I choose to
Ejeki,
stay.
close the show, Yi Fadala.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Ramadan, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
It's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person that used to sus? What is his name?
That woman.
Bam! Bam!
Yeah, today we'll go here.
Hey!
Let's catch up now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay tuned to TVC Entertainment for Pure Entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
host, I can tell you that being a parent is one of the biggest reality shows you'll ever produce. Hi. Oh, yeah. As cute as they can be, even you need to take a break to take care of some of the other realities of life. And that's why the TVC Staff Crash was put together to help parents just like me get those professional childcare services that they need. Come on, let's go, let's go. The TVC Staff Crash Baby Lounge team of professionals are here to help take a load off your mind. The TVC Staff Crash is a nursing mom support system, a toddler's safe haven, and a young learner's academy throughout the year. It's comfortable, convenient, and with competitive pricing for the modern parent. So, while they learn through play, you can go about getting your pay. The TVC Staff Crash, open to the public from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified.
Thanks for staying with us. In the last 1 week, the media has been filled with quite a bit of story concerning Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and the controversy and issues surrounding her when the Senate President in the House. However, because the issue is in court and TVC Communications here, we are law-abiding and we are bound by the laws of the land, we cannot discuss the issue because it's sub judice. However, because it's International Women's Month, and some of the issues that have been raised are issues that women go through and are constantly trying to see how we can approach the issues of sexual harassment in various areas of work, life, family, homes, in different places. So it's important for us to discuss the issue, because when a woman alleges that her boss sexually harassed her, it's an important conversation to have on how does she go about making a complaint, who does she tell, how does she accuse her boss of sexual harassment, how does the boss's family get involved, do they support him, do they not support him? These are some of the conversations we're going to be discussing this morning on the show. You can share your thoughts on the numbers on your screen to join the conversation. Also see how some of the solutions we can prefer to women who are going through various harassments and others who have come up wrongly or even falsifying stories. There have been different angles. Some women have, you have stories where women have falsified stories of how their boss sexually harassed them, and then many years down the line find out that they lied about it. So how do we women, how do we breathe in this kind of situation? How do we find some kind of succor in a system that seemingly works against women? That's our conversation this morning. You can call us on 020-166-352013, 091-390-76448. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. So this allegation of sexual harassment, it happens. I remember many years ago in a company that I worked, and the staff at the time, the interns at the time, used to complain that staff used to sexually harass them. Back then. And when, in the company, then I had spoken at that company and had mentioned to the leadership in that company, and then we tried to find a way to stop these people. And because those interns were young, just felt that nobody would listen to them. Who will believe you're an intern? But we had to call a situation where the interns came together and they made allegations against a certain person, and that person was properly reprimanded and eventually let go of, because there was no evidence where he takes these young girls to hotels, and they felt like, he's my boss, so let me just allow him. So these are things that happen, but in many cases, a lot of people don't get that succor, and especially at that level. So what are your thoughts on women coming out to make allegations of sexual harassment?
Okay, so I think companies, because you gave the company example, companies must have a policy against sexual harassment. I don't see it often, but you must have it, and you must have a complaint place for it, because it's something that must be dealt with formally. It's not a mirror. Tokwe used to rub my shoulder. It's not something you take informally. It can destroy a person if the person is accused. Once my husband was working with a team and it was headed by a woman who was very lackadaisical at work. She was lazy at work. And so he kept raising the issue. And one day he came on and said, imagine this lady, she just accused me of sexual harassment. And because his wife is a lawyer, I said, how? He said that she said to the overhead boss that he laid the complaints because she refused to hug him. And I said, you too, the hug person, are you not a Muslim? I said, no, when I come to work, we were all hugging each other. And that particular day, he had even extended the hug, and she just turned, and then he walked away. And that was the sexual harassment she brought before. I said, it's something that's always very formal and always very dealt with formally. He said, even the boss called immediately and said, I understand what is happening, but you know the policy of this company, you know what she's playing at, so you need to be careful. So we see women do these things a lot. He had to let go of that particular complaint until she was found by another boss, and then she was let go. But he couldn't be him again, because what she wanted to do was nail him so he doesn't go ahead. And it's something that companies must put formally, provide a platform for that kind of complaint from both the accuser and the accused, so that people can come out and say, this is how to go about it. Because some people are totally lost. They don't even know these things exist. They'll be found at it wrongly. Company policies must. There we're talking about, a law-making body, something as huge as, the National Assembly. And we're here now. I'm just so happy that they're both in court, and it's a court issue now. But I wish that, this could have built up. They could have been paper trailed the way we suggested. I think
it was somebody that said it, that last time somebody had mentioned something similar. Maybe if they had put policies in place, everybody would be easy for people to come up and make a formal complaint.
So for me, the reality is there are policies. There's a whole department, and there are people that are supposed to sit down and hear your complaints. But the reality of it is that when a woman makes a complaint, a sexual harassment complaint, the conversation is usually off the procedure. It's like, let me advise you sister to sister. Yes, you may go the formal way, the procedure, but this would not look good for you. It will backfire. Sister to sister, ignore it. Sister to sister, we'll try and see how we can move you from one department to the other. So the truth is not that people are not aware that there's HR or policies have not. In fact, if you were to put up a company, one of the HR policies is that you must have the guidelines for how to deal with issues like that. But in reality, and thinking about sexual assault, I know that many people, especially many men, who do not engage in such, find it difficult to believe that sexual harassment happens so often. Like, I'm just sitting down, for me, even as I am, my big age and everything, not too long ago, I had mentioned to Nima, I had met someone who was of a certain caliber, well known and respected, and just a 2 minutes or 3 minutes conversation, I was already propositioned. Do you understand? And for me, I shared it with her. It was not an office setting, but it was just that easy for it to happen. And sometimes when you talk about it, sometimes it can happen to you twice in a month, sometimes 5 times in a year. So that when you talk about it, people are like, is it only you? You've had that. Yeah. So women find it difficult to talk about these things that we go through, because many people don't believe us. A lot of people, and it's like a power thing. A lot of people just want you to be careful. Yes, a word against someone who is more powerful, and to protect you as well. So I've seen situations where the women, when they say, let's do sister to sister, it's not necessarily because they hate you. It's because they have seen too many times that it does not work in your best interest. So let's find other ways to do it. The only people that can make sure that these sorts of things are handled properly is the men. And the men always come out and defend the men. We need more allies on the other side. They need to understand that these things happen for real and women struggle with it. And even if there's a proper dismissal or suspension of the perpetrator, the person who's left in that company still faces some sort of indignities from colleagues or people who felt that you sent our person away, you know. So it's a huge issue.
What are your thoughts?
I think we need to redefine and enlighten people about what sexual harassment is, because we assume everybody knows what is sexual harassment, and people like to actually know. You ogling, like you're looking at me, and you meet me and your eye doesn't look at my face, your eyes on my chest, you're sexually harassing me. If I walk past and you're all whistling at my backside, you're sexually harassing me. If I am uncomfortable, if I have to, like, we had an intern that was she became a staff later, that by virtue of her body proposition, and people were talking about her backside over and over and over. They called it out. They spoke about it behind her, in front of her, because of the way her shape is. What should she do? That is sexual harassment. If you look at me and feel like my outfit I'm putting my chest in your face, and you say it over and over again, it is sexual harassment. If you indicate a proposition me and I say no, and you continually talk about propositioning me over and over again, you're sexually harassing me, even as a single person. Have I been sexually harassed as a married woman? Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's the audacity of it, like Mariam was saying, was extremely shocking to me, that I went into prayer and fasting, that what would I have done to make this person feel like I'm the sort of person that you would propose that kind of thing to? Like, it was, for me, it was like, like, you know, I'm married. Why would you even consider it? And that is how bad women are having to dodge. I've been pregnant and I went to eat with my husband, pregnant. Sat down with my husband, we were sitting facing each other. He stood up to go and he said, before he came back, a card was on the table. As in, like, I don't think men understand how annoying it is. Because that's why I say we need to redefine what is sexual harassment. Because when you listen to the response that has been on social media nowadays, he's just joking. He takes everything he's a light-hearted person. That light-hearted comment is making somebody uncomfortable to contribute their best in the office or contribute their best in whatever they finance. So we need to redefine it, because that was what happened with Me Too movement. When the Me Too movement started, people now realize that some simple comments of, look at you, I'm uncomfortable with it, don't tell me, don't tap me like that.
Okay. Can I quickly use the Violence Against Persons and the VAP Act? I always think it's very comprehensive, so I don't bother about other criminal laws on this. The VAP Act defines sexual harassment under Section 46 of the Act as an unwanted conduct of sexual nature or other conduct based on sex or gender which is persistent, serious, and demeans, humiliates, or creates a hostile or intimidating environment. And this may include physical, verbal, or non-verbal conduct.
Okay.
Now, it puts the burden on you.
On the interpreter.
You have to define what it is exactly. For instance, a person looking at you, in my own language, they even say, why are you looking at me? Is the person that finds trouble. So you have to define what you think is an invasive look. You have to define how the person makes you feel. And you have to define if that look and conduct over time have put you in a position of abuse or a loss of position, or, or demeaned you at a workplace or a public place. You have to be the one to define it and pray that the discretion of the unbiased mediator, which is the judge or person in this case, buys into what you think. Unfortunately, it might not be. And because Moral also mentioned when we need to do the balance where women just play the victim game.
There's that.
I used to have one friend back in the days when we were quite young. When we go to our Muslim community where we used to take tafsir classes, she comes out and says, "Hey, this is the way that guy looks at me. He likes me." And we all believed her until fast forward, everybody was not getting married. And she was like, "No, I wasn't into him." For a long time, because I didn't know what to do. I believed her. And I would say to them when I see them get married, "You broke my friend's heart. Were you not the one?" "Me, your friend. Are you okay?" you know. So it takes defining.
So Nima, that
over
takes
time.
me to women supporting women parts of this conversation. Because when your friend says, or when somebody you know says, I've been sexually harassed by that person. Now, as a woman, do I support you blindly without investigating? Or do I go and start asking to be sure it indeed happened? Because as a woman, once I tell Mariam, I expect her to automatically say, we are fighting this together because women are trying to support women. So I've said, Mr. A sexually harassed me. I expect all my friends to back me up. Even if I never mention it to you, it's private to me. So where do we draw the line in supporting blindly, or just saying, you know what, we have to first find out to be sure my friend is correct before going ahead?
My take on this is the first thing is to believe whatever you say.
Okay.
And if I find out I'm mistaken, I'm willing to apologize and move on.
Okay.
To the person, yes. So if a person, especially a younger girl, comes to me where I'm seated now and says, I have been sexually propositioned, I feel abused, or I feel harassed by some certain person, I believe them immediately. I do the best to help them resolve it, including investigating or reporting to the authority. I think we'll investigate. If the investigation reveals that the girl was either overthinking things, because you have that in those cases, or that it didn't happen, I would be willing to apologize to the accused person and over time try to redress it, because it also takes a while. I've noticed young men who suffer this, it takes them a while to get back. They'll be like, you see this gender, I don't even want to have anything. Some people just, you know, brush everybody together. But because this is possible, and because the line of the mistake is huge. Imagine the young girl just coming out of such a situation and running to you, and you say, I beg, you are not the least of me. You have just damaged that.
Let me rephrase. If it's a young woman or a woman who probably has a history of accusing quite a number of people, oh, they sexually harassed me, this person, you support her one time. Second time, it was Mr. John. Third time, it was Mr. A. Andrew. Fourth time, it was Mr. And you now see that pattern. Now, again, as a friend, would you still say, I am supporting you regardless, no matter how many times? Or will I still say, because a woman has said it, we must first of all give her that benefit of the doubt and ensure that she gets justice?
Because of how often it has happened to me, and as I started, I told you that sometimes when they tell you how often it happens to someone, you start to believe that the person is lying.
Yes.
But it's just reality. So, yes, I have that where my first inclination is to believe you. But I have seen both sides. I have seen which has happened to a family member, a boy that was accused of something that eventually found out with investigation and everything that was not true. So I know that other side exists. So how would I support immediately? Is that if you meet me, I'm very likely to believe you. You would know that I'll believe you. But the steps we're going to take will now determine, you know, how vocal I become. So if I'm going to now be vocal in support of you, we need to now start talking about evidence. I would say, sis, bring the evidence. Let's talk about it. Give me the circumstantial and whatever evidence. Let's talk about it. I'll rally up other sisters, you know, and we'll sit down, we'll discuss it. We would also talk about, because, and this is not because I don't believe you, but because we know how this can turn around, we'll look at it in such a way that, please be sure of what has happened. What happened? What did you put aside to defend yourself? Because usually once this thing leaves this circle and goes out, it will be interpreted and misinterpreted anyhow. Tomorrow they'll say, why would she say, did you not see the yellow tiny skirt she wore the other day? You know, they will make a mockery of what it is that you've gone through. So when I sit with you, it will be and ask you questions and one more information. It's not to break you. I mean, for anybody, if this happens, not to it's not like to shame you. It's just to make sure that when we go out there where it is, where they don't believe us, where they want, you know, we don't have any powers, that we are prepared. So I understand when women say to other women, this is how we should do it. I understand that it's not coming, usually it's not coming from a place of malice. It's just, let's do it in a way that helps you.
I always wonder why we don't lean on it. In that kind of, we're going through a sexual harassment. Why don't you lean on the other sisters for support? Why do we find that difficult to do? Let's go on a short break. When you come back, we continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, you for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, #1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for #1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym to get getting fat. Cricket.
She says she does show dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
dancer
Pole
does
dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No,
Sex can never be overrated.
it is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You see some sports.
That woman.
Damn.
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. TVC Entertainment with Pure Entertainment.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue of sexual harassment and the fact that it's International Women's Month, and it's important for us to highlight this matter. Tokwe, I was asking before the break concerning sisterhood. How do you support somebody else who has accused your collective boss of sexual harassment? Do you support her? Do you come out openly? How do you navigate that?
Okay, so, for me, typically, in response to the general one of in terms of would you support, I would say that, like Mariam said, I've been on the receiving end enough times to know that I would first support before asking any questions. I mean, I'll support and then ask questions to get. Proving that you were sexually harassed is also very difficult asking. That's as like, you are on the receiving end of a traumatic experience, and yet you are asked to prove that it
it's a word against the person anyway.
And in trying to get the proof, when you actually set up yourself to allow yourself get the proof, they would say you set a trap for him. How did you know to record his voice? You had planned for it. It was a trap. You created the scene. So whichever way you are damned. So I feel like that's why we must celebrate and appeal. Celebrate the he for she's and appeal for more, because without them, we can't solve the problem. That's on one side. Then you asked the question before we went to the break. You asked about the fact that the idea of women not leaning on women and why that might be happening. There's a cultural leaning that backs that up, because culturally, women are not meant to, you're meant to be silent. You're meant to find your way around it. You're not meant to stand up and fight. You are meant to say that, the man touched me. I felt his hand grazed my bum a few times. But what I now did was, I now wore tights under my dress because a man is touching your thighs. So that to avoid the man touching your thighs, you will now wear long leggings. You wear only trousers. So the culture is not for you to fight. The culture is to find a way to deal with it. Manage it. If you want to grow in this in this office. You need to find a way to manage with the, what will happen. The only reason I am not an actress is because the 2 times I went for audition, the offer was come to the hotel. And I knew I wasn't going to do it, and that ended my acting career. So before it started, because they told me that the producer was telling me, this person, no, I slept with her. This one, no, I slept with her. If you really want to make it in this industry, follow me to the hotel room. And I said, I'm not that desperate to make it in this industry. And I left the industry. So we have these things that happen, and if you tell a woman about it, what would the girl tell you? The girl will be like, the girl team might have done some sleeping around together. You'll be like, just sleep with him once. You will get the audition and you will get a good role. So we found a management culture of managing the challenge that we don't appreciate or understand the person that chooses to fight. Why are you fighting? Just calm down. We've been in this politics before you were born, and we know how we manage it. So why do you choose to fight? Let me tell you how we do it. We manage.
So I mean, that is one angle. I mean, there's many layers. Because there's the other layer I'd like us to move into.
But on the reason why women, this one I have to call women out, and I see it too many times, but I'm willing for anybody to prove me wrong. Some women are actually jealous that you were propositioned and they were not. True. Let us tell each other the truth. That happens. Like, what is she feeling like? It's like, it gives like you some sort of power. And so they would now, out of that jealousy, look for how to even make it worse for you.
Let me pause you. Okay. I'm sorry, I have to cut off because we're told that we have to link up with the Rural Electrification Agency's Electricity Summit happening in Abuja. And we have to go off on TVC News. And then we're going to be linking up. Those of you that are watching us on news can then start watching us online on YouTube. And also watch us on GOTV and StarTimes. We'll be happy to see you there. Go ahead, Kamara.
Yes, things like we were not sexually harassed. What is it that is she that fine, whatever? Then they'll look at the dress that you will look at. She wore one half shoulder to the. What did she expect? You know. So they make it about. They now look for fault for the reason why you deserve to be propositioned, and if you find that they now sit with this person that has harassed you or propositioned you for whatever reason. Sometimes it's to gain more power, it's to gain some favors, and they are willing to throw their fellow women under the bus only because they were not the ones that have the story to say I was harassed or propositioned. It happens too many times. I've seen it.
I agree with this. Because you mentioned this, I'm supposed to mention something I saw back in university. So there's a way we're supposed to dress as law students. It's supposed to be very formal covered. But there's a way the girls come to school in the camisole, deliberate. And the man that is target is not safe. There's no how, just as you said, there's no how he's going to get out of it. If he does, he's in trouble. If he doesn't, he's in trouble. It's because today I wore this particular camisole. I saw these girls, and it was right after they laughed about it. And the lecturer was in a corner worried about what was the implication because they just sent her out. And she came there to seduce in that particular look. So the lecturer was saying they should look about how she dressed. And she said it was about how she dressed. She used the same dressing. So how do we now talk about flirtatious women? Who are out to hound somebody or catch intentionally? How do we do that? Because you see this accusation, we've seen it used and abused. You know, a lot of times. So how do we deal with that?
It's a conversation we're going to keep having. We can never stop having that. I mean, even abroad, they've tried to find systems to help to curb this, but whether you like that, it still happens. People, there are policies, because it's always about your word against mine, and there's no evidence. I mean, now we have cameras, we have recording things we can use to record, but now, back then, we didn't have that. But now, I want us to go to the part of the spouse of the accused. If your husband, God forbid, is accused of sexual harassment, would you go out ho-ha to defend him? Or you say, bro, this is on you. You've got to defend yourself. I'm not saying anything on this. I mean, it's you and your office. But
the way you asked it's personal. If you just say generally.
Okay.
I've asked it personal.
Okay, I've shared my own story before. When my husband was fighting somebody in our estate, I've been in our compound at that time, and he was expecting me to be defending him. I felt that yes, he was right, but the action
that's not the same.
He was right in why he turned off the generator. But the fact that you are holding your fist, you're about to punch somebody, I wasn't going to have that. And I stepped back. I'm like, she can't be punching. And he was upset that I stepped back. Like, so I should be defending him in front of everybody. Now, the same thing, if they say your husband, okay, maybe not your husband, if a woman's husband has been publicly accused of sexual harassment, should the woman come out to say, lie, it's not my husband?
Okay, my own husband, the one I marry, I would agree. I would defend him.
Okay, you come out.
Yeah, I will come all out.
You do
the one I marry,
statement.
All out. I will stand by him until proof.
Okay.
If you don't have proof,
and when it's proof, what happens?
I will really apologize. But for the person that I married today, that I know today, because our people say people can change. Our people for Benin go say that the pikin when you carry for belly, if you vouch for, you see that one you beg for hand.
If you don't collect food,
you know go fit vouch for him. So you see that one that I'm married to, that I've married for 16 years this year.
Yes.
No,
we have to clap for him.
So for you, a lot of times I didn't trust the person I married, so I put a lot of things to test. But if it happens that the person now brings evidence of something, and you have to you cannot just come and accuse a man without evidence. And I say it to the men too. When your wife comes home and says, even this your best friend that you have trusted for years, give your wife that benefit of the doubt. Except your wife is the one that you do not trust. So when we bring it to this to the marriage setting, it's a very sensitive thing. It comes with patterns and things that you need to know. If you have an habitual philandra husband,
what would you do if it was habitually philandry?
Keep quiet. He will prove to me.
That because innocent of the allegation.
Yes, he has to.
So in that case, you will not stand.
I will stand up for him.
I'm of the opinion that, for me, in my own personal case, I'll stand. But I'm not going to go on social media and post. I won't go on social media and post. Okay. I'm not going to do a press release. I'll not do a video.
How would he know you're supporting him?
I would in the house. Inside the house.
Hillary came out to
she did not do press release. She stood by him and held the hand. She held the hand.
Which is what she can do.
Yes, I will stand and hold the hand. I'm going to keep quiet. Why? Not because I don't trust, but because there is I don't want to prove to the outer world that I am supporting, because there are two things. You can be speaking English outside and inside you are killing the person. So for me, it's not about outside. In recent times, I have, I post our trips, but I'm like, my husband's last birthday, I didn't post about it. And the reason was in my mind, I said, let me celebrate you inside house before I'll now go outside. The Instagram will know of your birthday before I've properly appreciated you. And I've done it before where I posted online, but I did not have a conversation with him because I wasn't around. So it just felt very hypocritical for me to be showing support outside, but not inside. So I would support and I will do it privately, not press conference.
Let me go on a short break. When I come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results. So
By 280 or 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Yeah, that's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, G Fadala.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Ramadan, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they're for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person that used to sus? What is his name?
That woman.
Bam! Bam!
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this matter, the role of the spouse of the accused.
It's a very, it's so deep. You know, before Hillary Clinton and many other wives of leaders.
Oh, I had a caller, Winty.
Oh, okay.
Adewale from Akwa Ibom. I'll come back to you. Good morning, sir. Are you there? Adewale? Hello? I'm sorry for keeping him. Go ahead, Mariam.
Yes, I said before Hillary Clinton and all the other leaders, you know, that have been accused with this, you know, by women and how the women have stood by them. Before then, you just knew. You defend with your full chest. You go out, public statements, you carry your Bible and you carry it on your head, media, whatever, pally, you talk about it. But, you know, our older sisters, they have taught us that sometimes, you know, we should learn from their own experiences. So I believe that as a spouse, with this sort of accusation, it's best to support from the inside. I will support you from the inside. And I will, but to be honest, it will be, if you are accused of this, even when you tell me you did not do it, I will still be looking at you with side eye. I'm like, why you? Why did it be you? You know, if you have conducted yourself properly, like, did you go straight to where they said to you and come back? Did you go, where did you stop? Where were you to Ethiopia? We ask you those questions, so I will be supporting you, but from the inside. And then when finally they prove that you are you are innocent. I'll be right there with you in front of whatever. For me, I think it's a really tough position to find yourself. What I find a lot of women will do is stand by their men, but I don't see that for usually the other way around. Men would support from the inside. Quietly they're supporting whatever they need to push, but you will never see them stand beside a woman and do press release and stand beside her. So I feel that because it's such a what is happening, especially for people who are in position of power, is there are two things as a woman you'll be standing for. One, you're supporting your husband, the love of your life, the father of your children, but then there's also that global universal message of supporting women who have come out to say that they have been harassed. There's that message that we're all trying to say that we're sisters, we're supporting you, but do we support you until it is my husband you have accused? We support you until it is my son that you have accused, So I find that is a very hard position to be in. And so I feel society should give a woman like that grace. Allow her to choose where she wants to stand, but mostly she's likely to stand with the love of her life, the father of her children, and we should give that person the grace to do that. That's her first loyalty.
Let me take this call from Joss. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello, good morning, Malayo.
Good morning, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
My name is Ali Suhasa. I'm calling from Georgetown.
Yes. Good to have you.
Excellent topic. I always appreciate your program as usual.
Thank you.
This sexual harassment issue. Hello, I hope you are hearing me.
Very clearly.
So fine, this sexual harassment in the red chamber, I don't know. Madam Natasha, when did her complaint start? Is it after she was asked to move from her seat that she now remembered that she was once harassed by the Honorable Oga? So I don't know which is which. And then I pray that the sooner this thing is done with, the better. And we don't wish for our women to be harassed in any way. And Ramadan Karim to my sister dear Nima. And also tell my Jos sister that when she come to Jos, she should try at least to stop at our local station PRTV now for us. At least a sort of homecoming. But we just zoom to her town and leave the capital like that. While some of us, she's part of the reason why we always make it a duty to watch the program with our brethren.
Thank you, Sally. I will stop at PRTV next time, I promise.
So there's an issue.
Address what Sally said about when the woman comes out. At what time it will be built. I talked about leaving the paper trail. She might have been seeing it, maybe letting it go, but now it's going to cost her. Maybe there's a time when your integrity comes to question in this kind of things. Maybe the person is now forcing you to demanding more. Maybe, okay, you have not done this thing. You are not going to lose this. Or I'm going to call you names, or I'm going to accuse you. You are now forced to speak up about something you've chosen to be silent about. So there's no perfect timing. There's also something about the integrity of the person being accused. I mentioned the case of my husband's accused time. He had to ask that, can I be moved out of this place? Because now I don't even know, I can't work with this person anymore. This is too serious for me. And he was transferred. Can the case in question, because we have a deputy senate president, it is a voted place inside the house. It's not like you're not telling your constituency to leave. Because you're holding such a powerful position, it will be difficult to investigate such a powerful position. If you're a person of integrity, you can say, I'm stepping aside pending this. You can say that. And when you're proven innocent, you step back. It gives you more leverage. It gives you more integrity and respect.
Let me take another call from Joss, I believe. Thanks for calling. Your people are... I don't know. I'm not sure I got it right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Ade from London.
Oh, London. Sorry.
Joss is also Nigeria's London.
Greet the king. Ade, go ahead, Ade.
Yeah, my number one, I stand by the women. I'm the only man that stand by the women all over the world.
Thank you.
And I condemn sexual harassment.
Thank you.
For married women. Married women should not be harassed sexually.
For all women.
Like it's a taboo. You understand? But you can't say sexual harassment for single girls because they are meant to get married and they are meant to be toasted. Wow. So that's, but for married women, it's a taboo. No go area. So me, I don't like that. I hate that. You understand? On BBC this morning, and they told us that in Dublin,
some Brazilian girls that don't want to rent a house. Landlords are asking them sex for rent. Well, BBC, they were telling us. So sexual harassment will continue to happen. But it's only to be single girl, not rape. To be single girl, toasting them.
Thank you very much, Ade. There's another issue that I think is important for us to bring on into this conversation. The fact that it's International Women's Month, and there's a lot of advocacy out there for women representation in corporate Nigeria, women representation in politics and governance, representation in various sectors of our society. And we are consistently clamoring for more women to be allowed in certain levels. Do you think this issue of sexual harassment it could be one of those things that would somewhat derail that advocacy? The reason I say that is, for example, in a company where somebody is accusing the MD of sexual harassment, and the MD somehow eventually get out of his, you know what, please don't hire any more women in this place. For these roles, I only want men. I don't want anybody to wahala. You know, so that company does a policy that is for this role, we're looking for a male because we are now blocking, because we don't want women where we are constantly having issues. Because if I look at you somewhere, they say sexual harassment, I beg, don't hire women, I beg. So will this issue of sexual harassment that we're trying to get just some justice for, would it delay, derail, or even make light of this our advocacy for women equal representation that we are clamoring for?
I think this is the reason many women tolerate the harassment in the past. The risk of losing the job or losing the opportunity, or by fighting, might stop other women from getting this opportunity. That's why many women tolerated the harassment. So I don't think that it might have temporarily give setback. But long term, it is better for women to speak up and fight. I also feel like we should stop begging for a seat at the table and build your own table. My office has more women than men. My husband, every time he comes to me, he's like, your office has no gender balance. How many men do you have? So I said, well, I'm a woman. In my office, I have the opportunity to employ as it suits me, and I'm employing more women.
But it was a man that did that now. You know,
but in a lot of men's offices, when I go to see my real estate men, I see more men than women there too. So I would lean towards, so women should build the tables. So build the companies.
In a place like a National Assembly where we're trying to get more women, the table is already there. We will build. And we're trying to get more women inside.
The table is actually the campaign machinery. The table is the money that backs the campaign machinery. So if you are able to leverage your influence as women, you will build the table that I can never forget Toyo Sakele saying on this show a few years back when we were still in the former studio that women should fight to be Mama Saleh. Be that woman that if you stand up and say, everybody, we are voting for Nima this time, they'll be like, yes, ma, yes, ma, yes, ma, and they will follow and vote for Nima. If you say, this election, we are voting for Mariam, become that woman that is so influential. Your table cannot be shaken. The men will come and meet you and tell you, ma, the person, because there are some men in this country, actually the power blocks are controlled by some people that whenever you want to win in those zones, you go and meet them.
Yeah, let me take this call from Yakub. He's been holding for a while from Tokwemu. Thanks for calling. Yakub.
He knows what to do. Hello. Good
morning. You're live. Go ahead, please. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sister Nima. Ramadan Kareem. Permit me to say this before I come to this particular topic. Morayo, last week Friday, I tried to call him, but I couldn't. I think it's Friday or Thursday, if I don't make a mistake, you granted an interview with Amaka, one of us.
Yes.
In fact, Morayo, please, I'm not trying to take you guys back. Amaka stands as my hero for this year. Is an hero because she said a lot of things that, in fact, I would be surprised if the first lady of this country is not listening to that very particular program, because she really needs help. And then, Morayo, I know that you have the key. You have the key to let the first lady of this country to know what she's passing through, and the people like that. Because for Amaka to come out and then make sure that he told us all what she said that day, I give her kudos. She's already made my hero for this year. God will bless her, Amaka. Thank you. But coming to this very particular topic, Morayo, listen to Natasha Apoti, because I listened to her on one of your sister station, which channel television, Murayo, when I listened to this woman, I was like, wow, in the National Assembly. And then for that woman, she is a strong woman. No, it is not only that she came out, and then she also came out with the facts. And then she also said that the Senate president has every right to come and defend himself. But up to now, I start to be corrected. I've never read it anywhere that the Senate president said anything except our wife. Except his wife that said that she should withdraw the statement and all that. Let him come out personally to come and tell Nigerian citizens that what Natasha Apoti is saying is not true. I give kudos to that woman because anything that woman always says, she will always come out with the fact.
Thank you very much, Yakub, for your views.
So let's extend grace, just as Miriam said. His wife is allowed to come and say whatever she wants to say in defense of her husband and her family. Because such an accusation is not just to her husband, it's going to affect her children. So she's allowed to come out to say whatever. While you should not discourage or distract Natasha from proving
her case.
Sexual harassment case. If there's
going back to the issue we're talking about, Mariam, concerning the fact that you're going to say something.
Yeah, so, you know, I feel that when I said women should be given the grace to support who they need to support, but also that I want to see more allies, you know, concerning situations like this, conversations like this. When a man, just look at the person that called us, when a man says, I am an ally, I stand for women, I know that women too should be influential, should be strong, but there's something, knowing that you have a partner on the other side join you, it's just like double the strength, you know, double the conversation. So that's what I would like to see more of, you know, going forward. It's not enough to say we support women. It's not enough to use just our words. We need to show it in different actions. And when things like this happen, how do we insert ourselves?
Now, recall what we were talking about earlier, concerning that, would this stop other people from getting opportunities? Because women, we're trying to get women into public office. We're trying to get women into governors. We need a female governor. We need female presidents. We need women there. And when these kind of issues come up, should we feel like maybe it might actually delay? Because there are women, one of these was Senator King Gibe was saying, was that we are still trying to pass the gender bill. So these are things that, now, should we, regardless of what we're trying to advocate for, should we still face this? But I mean, how do we balance it out?
We might discourage, you know, women from coming out because of things, but I don't think it should. You know, there's nothing perfect in life. In life happens, things will happen. You must define your standard of what you must face. But your dream must not be, given up for anything. If any woman out there wants to be a senator, this should not in any way discourage her. Before you get to that position, you would have won your ward elections. You would have won your.
Should men not be discouraged by this to support women? Let this not discourage. Let this situation not discourage men.
Support, no, that one we need it. You know, men should come out now and give women not just support but opportunities. Instead of you dragging it with a woman because you have more resources, can you back her up and let her, go out if you think she has the intellect to thrive there? But for women, so I know what I'm saying. Some women will tell you, I remember when we were wearing hijabs and we were all going to school and all, something was being preached among the society I grew up in. It was a Muslim community, and we were told we're better teachers. As a Muslim woman, you are born, because the Prophet says, if you educate a woman, you educate a nation, all of us should just go and do education. I was like, with the kind of grad that is in my body, it's not for me. It took a while for the vacancy for the deficiency in society to show, for people to say, okay, we're needed in every aspect. I know Muslim women who were astute accountants who never thought of banking, because they thought in banking they will first put my hijab, they will force me this and that, and some who thought, okay, let me try, let me, I have the family backing, and they're thriving and they're wearing their hijabs in the sector today. So you need those women who break barriers. You need them, and we need to break barriers. Whatever this story, if another Natasha can come in another 20 years, let there be women in the House of the Senate.
Just I was watching another channel, and they were talking about women, of course, in preparation for International Women's Day, and they were highlighting some women, like women from there was YK's grandma,
Funmilayo
Sonkuti, and where she was talking to the Oba to reduce the taxes, and she was like, Oba, reduce. I said, no. I had to tell them. I said, that's not how she talked to the Oba. She stood firm and confident, you know, and she spoke. And, you know, this world, forever, things keep changing and evolving, but human relationships still remains like the one thing that does not really change. You know, there was a time we never had cars, now we have cars, we're flying, we're going to space, you know, but human relationships still remain the same. That dynamic between man and woman and the power that men have over women and women constantly fighting for their rights has remained the same. But the only reason why we've seen progress in that way is because one woman or two women stood up in spite of everything to demand for rights. So I hear you, Toko, when you say that women need to build a table and need to be more influential. I get it. I understand the rhetoric, but I also understand that you cannot do it without allies. You cannot do it without the men. So these men that support us, that tell us in our homes, we support you, but do not come out and support us. This is the time to do so, so that we're able to build a table ourselves and, you know, are able to stand for women's rights and protect our children. So tomorrow, like, you know, today we're talking about various women. These women are wives to allies, they are daughters to allies, you know, so you want one day, so you want someday when your daughter is able to sit at a certain table, you know that you help build that table for her to be able to represent.
Wrapping up soon. Talk about
of course we cannot overlook allies. We've said it over and over again. We need more E for she's, but it doesn't have to. You don't need a crowd. And I'm so happy you used the example of Funmilayo Sonkuti, because we from the story that we've heard, she had a husband and she had a father, and sometimes that's all you need. If you have one, you have enough, and you can step out there and fight. And the privileges we are currently enjoying as women is because some people stood, fought, and died. So if you see someone standing, stand with the person. If you see someone fighting, fight beside the person, so that your children and your daughters and granddaughters would have a better life as women, not have to struggle the same struggle that you are going through right now.
I think that, Nima, your final words.
Let me just quickly respond to someone who's saying that the evidence of bad character of the accuser is also in question. Even when somebody's character is in question and the person has accused someone, both of them will step aside when neutral parties come in to investigate the case, because we must, keep the sanctity of such an establishment.
And also we must remember that even a prostitute can accuse somebody of sexual harassment because she's a Nigerian. She has a right. She will, regardless of anybody's track record of this person, that person, just like me. Listen, somebody has made an allegation. It's important for the courts to see how we can do it, just like you said, independently.
Amora, I think one thing is important, because we had the caller who said it. There's a difference between sexual harassment and asking someone out. Please, that someone is single does not mean that person should be
sexually harassed.
I think that's all we can take on today's show. As we said earlier, we know that the senator's story is pretty hot. Everybody wants to talk about it, but we can't, because TVC Communications, we are law-abiding, and we have to understand that the case is up to this, and we cannot discuss it currently because it's in court. However, we're waiting for the judgment, and then afterwards, we can now tear it to pieces as we deem fit. Have a great day. See you tomorrow, and happy International Women's Month as we start. Bye-bye now.